came from the can.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Filmcan Productions grand finale of the Super Halloween Special Marathon we've been having all October. As we promised, this is our last hurrah and it is Monster Squad. Monstrous Squad.
Once upon a time, it was one monster per movie. Those were the good old days.
We're the Monster Squad. Only one way to kill a werewolf. Kick him in the nose! Do it! Wolfman Squad Mars!
The Monster Squad, rated PG-13.
This is one of our favorite movies.
Cult classic for
Cult
sure.
classics, and we figured it's probably the funnest movie that we've done all October long, and we left it for last. And for a quick recap on what this movie's about,
Dick Warlock.
The plot's actually pretty simple. Monster Squad revolves around this group of kids that build a club called Monster Squad, and they're big scary movie, scary story fans. And apparently they begin to find out that Dracula has recruited a bunch of these classic monsters, not necessarily by name. We have a werewolf and not Wolfman. We have the creature from the Blue Lagoon, and there's the Gill Man.
Yeah.
Gill
right?
Man, yeah.
And the Mummy right now attacking, I guess, the town throughout the movie. And these kids have to obtain this amulet that I guess Van Helsing had to have, I guess, back in the day to combat these monsters and put them into this black hole thing, and defeat the monsters. Again, clear and cut, dry plot. A very fun one, by the way. Anyone that knows anything about this movie, it's written by Fred Dreger, who did Night of the Living Creeps, which we just reviewed before.
It's Miller time.
And by our beloved Shane Black, who also wrote the Lethal Weapon movies and Iron Man 3.
Yes.
Among others, yeah, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. This is Shane Black's first.
I think it's his
Writing
first
credit?
credited movie. Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah, he was friends with Fred Decker.
Fred Decker, yeah.
And one day Fred Decker said, "Hey, why don't we do, what was it? Oh, how did he put it? The Little Rascals meets
Abbott and Costello versus Frankenstein.
Yeah, the Universal Monsters versus
exactly." And he was like,
Rascals, yeah.
"Fuck yeah, let's write it." And he wrote this epic script, and shit that doesn't happen anymore. It's like, yeah, sure. TriStar just picked it up. Everything like aligned, and yeah, that sounds good. Green did it, and he went right from Night of the Creeps to Monster Squad back to back, like, and like we mentioned previously, David's credit cookie in Night of the Creeps bathroom stall, he wrote on the wall graffiti, it says "Go Monster Squad," because he was like just about to start shooting production on Monster Squad. So,
And like we said, the original idea was to join the Universal Monster stuff with kids, kind of like Goonies, like that era. In the that 80s era, there was Goonies, there was like the Explorers, there was Red Dawn. It was like kids versus the adults kind of thing. So
kids who actually fucking talk like kids.
Yeah.
God, can you believe Mr. Metzger? Tell me about it. He was touching me, patting my shoulders and stuff.
I think I was fully homoing out.
I smell like the 40s.
I mean, when they send you to school, won't they tell you about the homos and the people with cat heads?
Did you say faggot? What'd you say? My name's Horace.
Scary German guys bitching.
And then apparently, we watched the documentary that they couldn't get the rights to the official Universal Monsters, so they had to use creative and legal ways to get away with it. Dracula's Dracula, Mummy's the Mummy. They couldn't say Wolfman; it was werewolf.
Yeah, they couldn't say creature.
Black
it's
Lagoon,
Gill
so
Man.
it's Gill Man. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
and even with Frankenstein too, they couldn't. Frankenstein's monster in this film couldn't actually look like Universal's version of Frankenstein.
With the big
Right.
head, they had to physically make him
A little bit different, just enough for them not
Yeah.
to be able to be taken to court.
stupid.
Yeah.
They had to make him look trademarkly different.
Yeah, so instead of the bolts on the neck, he actually has them on his temples.
Yeah,
Very small, like,
and
little-
then they revive him with like headphones, kind of thing. Yeah, or
Yeah,
And there's also Universal had posters and promotional material where Frankenstein's monster actually looked greenish in appearance, so they had to actually make him gray, so that way
they
wouldn't-
made him look more like dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like our good friend Dick Warlock, aka Javier, said, which is actually absolutely true. This is kind of like the monster equivalent of the Avengers. Unofficially, the Avengers. It's like they had
like a shared universe almost.
not Iron Man, but like Steel Man with like
the Incredible Bulk.
Or like Fighting American instead of Captain
Gray
America.
Gray Widow, and
Yeah. Instead of Hawkman, it's Falcon
Yeah.
Man.
and the Polk or
Yeah.
something. You know?
The Incredible
Everyone had to
Bulk.
be different. Yeah.
I did make a note too that in the movie, even though like the idea was to make it an Avengers portion of all the Universal's monsters, there is a money shot where I guess when Count Dracula
Oh.
revives the Frankenstein's monster, all the monsters are there together, and there's a panning shot when it's like,
Yeah, with the lightning, and then they all like the Wolfman howls. And the
Yeah,
other
they
one
do the
growls.
classic
Yeah.
poses.
which I thought was awesome too, because it really does fit that criteria what we just said, where you had the money shot that the Avengers had in both movies, and compared, and it looks eerily similar, Halloween, to the to the one that Monster Squad had with all the monsters together at that lagoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
exactly.
it was, and actually, like you said, they couldn't do the actual licensed creature, so they had the late great Stan Winston took it upon himself to he took it to heart. Like he wanted to make something very similar but very different, and the designs they're just awesome.
they're
man.
flawless, and then like unless you really know, you can't even really tell.
No, because
Unless you watch the documentary, you're like, oh, okay.
the iconic look of
They're
those
there.
monsters are so ingrained in you that even if you come close, immediately your brain just says, "Oh yeah, Wolfman, Frankenstein, whatever." But to me, like the Wolfman is scary, man.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
has such a mean mug to him. But my favorite is the Gill Man.
The Gilman, yeah.
He had the least screen time, but I think that was like one of the most beautiful designs on the
film.
creature. Yeah, it was awesome, man.
But as the plot man said, the plot is basically a group of kids who have a monster club, kind of like Little
a
Rascals.
tree house, yeah.
Yeah, and then in your small town there happens to be Dracula, Frankenstein. Getting into the plot is redundant. All the monsters are there, and of course the adults don't believe them, and they're the only ones that can save the day. And then, by amazing screenwriting or amazing Hollywood coincidence, the main kid's mom bought Van Helsing's diary at a thrift shop
Yeah.
by dialogue as she's washing dishes. And he's like, "Oh, it's in German, right?" And they realize that within Van Helsing's diary is
The date.
is the recipe to save the world. And then 100 years before, the same scenario has occurred, and their neighbor happens to be a scary German guy, which is an actual quote from the movie. That's actually, he doesn't even have a name. He's scary.
His
scary
role is
German
scary
guy.
German guy.
Which is this old guy from V. Remember V, the TV show? V?
Yes.
He was whatever. We'll get into that somewhere there. But they happen to have a scary German neighbor, and the parents are too busy fighting, and one's a cop and one's a housewife. They never deal with the kids because they're always like everywhere, even in the climax. Where are the kids? They don't know where the kids are.
Yeah, because they're busy fighting each other.
Exactly.
Crazy.
So basically, 100 years has passed, and the same thing that was going to happen back in the day is happening again. So the kids have to save the world.
Yeah, they had to open this portal and I guess suck them
Yeah.
out
They
or
have
whatever.
to do what Van Helsing did, which was have a virgin read a spell and suck everything in. But apparently, it's not clear if it really occurred because whatever. We'll get into that. But basically, let's talk about the lifestyle of '80s movie kids.
It's
Main character is like what is he, like 10 years old?
yeah.
He's
yeah.
a middle school kid.
He had never seen this movie. This is the first time he saw it.
Yes.
And like I told him, this is how I grew up. This is how kids really behave.
This is how a kid's
This is
movie
how
was.
kids will never behave on television or movies nowadays because everything is so politically correct. So you have a group of neighborhood kids who have a treehouse and they open a little monster club where they can talk about monsters
they
and
call
draw
each other
pictures.
asshole and faggot, and one character's called Fat Kid.
Yeah, one kid. Yeah, exactly. Fat kid, and they're always whooping his ass. And there's the tough bully kid who looks over
Who's
for
slightly
him.
older, like 15. He smokes cigarettes.
And
he's
they
like
all-
James Dean.
And they all spy on one of the kids' hot sister who lives next door, and they watch her get undressed every day by the window. They curse. They yeah, exactly. It's everything kids do, but they never show that in movies anymore because, oh God.
Everything's Disney Channel.
Oh God, no, that's terrible.
Yeah. And you know, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, go
You know,
on.
and for anyone that follows our podcasts, this actually goes back to what we were talking about as far as 80s movies go. When we talked about Pee-wee, that for some reason back in the 80s, it let a lot of shit slide.
Hell yeah.
With the weirdness and its edginess and that kind of thing, especially in this movie too. I mentioned how, you know what, in the 80s we see a lot of that, especially from the movies we actually reviewed, you know, but you would never see that in the 90s. Like, not even in the 90s, but like, I mean, we're not in the 90s, but like even now.
Because no nudity. Nudity was the curse.
What was the curse? Yeah, but now
You
it's
can
the
say
curse.
bad words.
Yeah.
You can even show violence.
Yeah.
And language was not a problem, but for some reason, sex made everything Porky's.
Exactly.
Made everything
Yeah.
tango shit movie.
Right, but that's when you know the difference when it comes to like 80s movies and like movies coming out now, when it does involve kids, because that bar back then obviously was just nudity and sex, but since then they've risen it. So now they can't curse, they can't even imply certain things now.
No, now it's all like witty adult dialogue banter. You watch Disney Channel? I mean, I really don't, but everything is always like kind of like a joke about some sort of contemporary thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's never like faggot, it's never like that.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
true.
I know, like,
Everything has to be like
Or
masked.
virgin. Yeah, nothing. No one. Yeah, God forbid one kid ask another kid if she was a virgin or not and make a joke out of it. Forget it. Not gonna happen.
No, and then not only do they do that, the joke is that she's not a virgin. They imply that she's a slut
Yes.
in the dialogue.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
and one thing I always love about these, like, 80s movies and stuff is there's always bullies.
Mhm.
And the bullies are realistic in these movies because they're like shit talking, they're whooping your ass, just wailing on you while
Oh, I
everybody's
know.
like gathered and making fun of you while happening, whatever.
And with the Shane Black script, they're not only bully, they're witty. They're always like, "Hi, I'm Derek, man on the street."
Yeah.
And they have to like simulate some sort of broadcast, and then he hands the microphone. It's like, "Fat kid's blocking traffic."
What'd you say, fat kid? I'm not a fat kid.
Yeah.
And it's cool because it's like, obviously the cool older brother guy that comes in and stuff. The way he dismantles that scene is he's already has a reputation as being the tough kid, older cool kid, and all he does is show up,
And boom.
and boom, the bully stops whooping his ass because
Who his reputation is he killed his dad, which they never. Do you remember that?
What?
They never really
The
confirmed.
little girl says, "I heard he killed his dad."
Oh, they never
Yes.
even
No,
touch up on that.
that's
Yeah,
it.
No, they did
Because
it,
he's
but
15 years old
Yeah.
and he killed his
yeah,
dad.
but they say that
No.
only like to build a legend
no,
up
but
about him. But
that's what makes the movie great. I
oh
mean,
yeah.
yeah,
What-
they don't have
honest-
to go into it. You just hear it and you just believe that it's
And
true.
honestly, we're talking too much because, like you said, the plot is simple. Kids fight monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this movie good? Why is this movie,
Yeah.
after almost 30 years, even stand?
Oh, I mean,
It's the way it's filmed.
it's a
We haven't
combination
even
of
gotten to-
everything. It's a
yeah.
combination of the culture, the acting, the way the kids actually. I mean, Shane Black wrote it, so the kids actually speak like one of his cop movies. They speak very intelligently.
They speak
it's
smart.
witty banter.
They don't speak like kids. They
don't
smart.
speak like TV now makes kids talk. They don't sound like
they have
kids who everything's
very,
a joke and
very so. When the movie gets a little bit cliched, they refer to the cliche, and it works.
Yes,
and some
when
movies now do.
And when the son speaks to the father who is like on the verge of divorce, he doesn't talk to him like a little boy. It's like man to man talk, you know.
So where are you going tonight?
Marriage counselor.
Again? I thought you quit smoking.
Sure. Son, I love you dearly, but do me a favor. Put your basic lid on it.
I think the main kid has one scene with his mom and one scene with his dad in the beginning.
Yeah, it's
and his mom is washing dishes, giving him plot points about Van Helsing's diary, and then he goes to see his dad. His dad is like in a wife beater, smoking cigarettes in the house.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, can I get $5 to watch some piece of shit drive-in movie? So, oh, I gotta go to marriage counseling.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore. And when the kid says, I thought you quit, he's like, come here. He's like, shut the fuck up. He basically says, I'm like, why are you bothering me?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll give you $5 anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But can I say that's the appeal of the movie now, that if you watch it now, just because you wouldn't expect that kind of thing. I mean, the part of the movie that got my eyes open, but actually did make me laugh, and it would make anybody laugh really, is the little girl. You told me she was 5, right?
She's like 5 or 6 years old.
And
she's definitely
yeah,
small.
she's close to
tiny.
a baby.
Yeah, she's tiny.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, what I love about her is that she's
not the annoying
fearless.
kid.
She's not the annoying
she's
kid.
Actually, plot point.
Right.
Super witty.
Super witty, super brave. She makes friends with Frankenstein after Frankenstein was sent by Count Dracula to kill them. Right.
Everybody scares shitless of Frankenstein, and she's the one who's like, stop being like, you know.
No, that is the point that I love.
Yeah, go.
She looks at the rest of the kids and they're terrified, and she tells them, "Stop being chicken shit.
Don't be chicken shit.
Don't be chicken shit."
It's okay, you guys. He's friends with us. Come on, don't be chicken shit.
That's awesome.
Again, only in the 80s you could get away with that.
Yeah, that was like one of the funniest parts of the movie. It's like, don't be chicken shit.
Do you want to talk briefly about your memories of watching as a kid and watching as an adult? And then
oh yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, this is one of those movies when I was a kid I used to watch constantly. Like I probably wore the hell out of that VHS tape. And it's funny because my mentality towards the movie, I don't think has changed. Like, I still love the fact that all the monsters are in one movie, which is hard enough to do. I love Gilman just as much as I did when I was a kid. None of the kids now annoy me. You know, when you grow up later and you watch a movie over again and you kind of cringe because, it's hokey now.
This dumb actor, yeah.
It's all good, man. I mean, like, still watching it, I'm like, I have just as much fun now than I did when I was a kid watching this movie. I love that the whole movie was actually shot in a back lot, and it has that set town vibe, which kind of gives it that very.
We said that. It looks like it was the same. It was
the
filmed
Back
in
to
the
the
same
Future square.
It is the Back to the Future square. Actually, that's the funny thing.
Yeah.
But it gives it something. I don't know what it does to it. You know what it does to it? It gives you a familiarity.
I think
something about it gives you a vibe of
Americana.
I've been there.
No, it's an aesthetic.
Americana
Yeah.
80s middle America vibe.
Yeah, like I've been there, or I grew up in a place like that, or I grew up watching places that look like that on TV. So you feel like,
yeah,
I like the way this place looks, and I like the
Leave
look
It to
of
Beaver kind of feel.
Yeah,
to it.
I like the whole seeing how kids in school in like an early '80s movie, a late '80s movie. It takes me back. I'm like, that's how it was, man. That's how we talked,
Exactly.
and that's
Goes
how
to
we did
principal
things.
officer, you're fucked. Because
Everybody wasn't on their phone.
Yeah.
Nowadays, all the kids on
they
the
were taking
phone.
pictures of their sisters getting
We
naked
all
on
played-
the window.
We all played outside. We all had some form of clubhouse, not as awesome as theirs, obviously, but it was.
That'd be
We
nice.
had adventures where we would come back late at night, and our parents would be like, "Where the hell were you?" And we'll be dirty and disgusting and bloody, and it's like, it was like, man, the shit that we pulled was awesome. Riding bicycles, and of course, you got '80s montage.
And
You gotta have
it's
that.
true.
Classic.
The only adult that helps them in the movie is the French, the scary German guy.
Yeah, the old German dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
They even mention, oh, we should tell adults. No adults. You know what I mean? It was very.
Unless Frankenstein counts, I don't know.
This movie is a PG
Frankenstein
movie.
counts, yeah.
Fact. It's made for kids, but
Yes.
The
It
content
still
is very adult.
works now.
It's got some undertones every once in a while that you're like, ooh, where did that come from?
And like you were talking about when you were a kid, I saw this movie as well as when I was a kid. I watched it very often. I watch it as much as I did watch Goonies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, as I grew up, for some reason, I kind of forgot about it. Not forgot about it, but I didn't watch it as much. Goonies is more in the same level as Indiana Jones, and you kind of just forgot about Monster Squad, and almost like I thought, like, oh, if I watch it again, it's not going to be as good. There's a lot of movies you like when you're a kid that don't hold up.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the 20th anniversary came up in 2007.
Yes.
And I bought the DVD because I was on a DVD craze, and I watched it again, and I was very surprised how much, not only did I have the nostalgia feel, because, that happens for a lot of movies, like Neverending Story, still a cool movie to me, but I think about, like, I don't know, if I'm an adult, does it still hold up? I don't know. This movie still holds up. And I was surprised.
Yes.
I mean, even the 20th anniversary is almost 10 years ago.
But you know why?
It still holds up, and I've watched it very recently, even before I watched it today. I didn't watch it. It was in the background. I was testing the video file before I came here, and I was in the background, and I caught myself looking at it and saying, oh, I can't wait till Javi sees this shit. You know what I mean?
You know what, though? That...
It's very well done.
It's, besides all the points that we've already stated of why it's so good, and the 80s, and the kids, and the dialogue, it's also the fact that it's real prosthetics. There's no computer animation. It's real sets. Yeah. It's lighting. It's getting the cinematography down packed. Those are things that no matter how much time goes by, if it looks good, it looks good.
You're right. And
there's some stuff that you look at and you go, yeah, that looks dated. Like maybe the tunnel, the warp tunnel.
Yeah.
And some, who cares?
But
everything else, the makeup is better than any of the movies now.
No, you're right.
Okay, Stan Winston was like
a
beast in this movie.
Let's get into technical shit. We'll talk about the director and everything later, but the makeup effects of Stan Winston, who is he's dead now, but he's world famous for Terminator movies, Alien movies, Jurassic Park, and a million more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the list goes on and on. Yeah.
You know? The visual effects guys is Boss Films, which is the same people who did Ghostbusters, which is like 2 years before.
Mm-hmm.
So the optical effects are great. The director is Fred Drecker. So we actually did his movie. Actually, when I think about it, like 3 of our movies are related to John Carpenter, and 2 of them are for Fred Drecker. Mm-hmm. So we're kind of like on his bandwagon. But it was totally by coincidence. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. He did Night of the Creeps, which is a fun movie, but nowhere. I mean, big jump in just quality.
Well, now that you mention,
as watching like 2 weeks ago this movie and this movie. I mean, tell me what you think about like his quality jump.
Well, we talked about this too when we started seeing it. 'Cause, again, when we reviewed it, we did make fun of Night of the Creeps a lot because it's B movie-ish feel. Like it was really one of those things that got slapped together. You know,
the acting was very subpar, aside from Tom Atkins.
But I think they were. I think they were going.
I think they were going for that. Yeah.
Yeah, they were going for it.
But it was obvious because that was the purpose.
Nobody in this movie is bad. Like
no,
everyone
works. Right. But again, even if that was the purpose, you could see the difference, right? But Monster Squad, as far as even for the smallest thing, for like lighting and editing and the way things are shot and the way things are panned and the way I mean, this movie, Deckard really took his time getting this movie together. Like really made a lot of effort to make sure it was done well, and we noted that. You know, to like the costumes even look better. I mean, we even saw the behind the scenes documentary about it, and they actually mentioned how and there was one piece I thought was awesome, how the Gill man, the guy that was in costume, they had to glue his the costume down together, like I guess where the opening was. They sealed it together so it would look realistic, so you wouldn't see it on film.
And he was like he was not even a stuntman. He was like
the producer.
The producer. He's the only one that fit in there. Kind of reminds me of that Seymour Tickham student film that we helped.
The armor suit.
You know, the guy passed out and had to get in the suit. Yeah.
I mean, he said one day he had like a 12, 13
hour day, and he didn't drink because he couldn't pee.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't eat or drink because he couldn't even have like a straw or any way of like putting anything in his mouth.
Yeah, he said he would just when they give him a break, he'll go to the trainer and just lay down for a little bit. That must have been intense.
Yeah, but you could tell the movie itself is technically much more advanced and much more. It's just better than other creeps. Even though again,
it's noticeably better.
Noticeably better, but I mean, as far as taking time on things, I mean, a lot of like enthusiasm was poured into it.
Yeah,
you know, and we kind of knew that watching the movie, and it was confirmed when we saw the documentary. How people were just excited to get into it.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited you think that because I've always liked this movie. I'm pretty sure you like this movie. Javier, first time he saw it was like 30 minutes ago. and watching, I'm just saying, like watching a movie made in 1987 that is made for kids as a 30-year-old adult, you're not gonna always like it. So I'm happy that you liked it. I mean,
it was fun.
I could tell. I was looking at him. He was like into it, and I was like, okay.
It's like the perfect Halloween movie. Honestly, it's like it's got a little bit of everything Halloweeny in it. It's not too long. It's fun. It's witty. It's got all the classic monsters in it. You're like,
exactly.
It's beautiful.
It's entertaining, and if you are a film dork, you can appreciate. It's filmed well.
No, it's filmed. The cinematography is really nice.
Cheesy scenes, like the scenes when they're.
And the editing was great.
The scary German guy and everything in his apartment, even though it's expository. Okay, he's gonna tell you what the plot is, and they're gonna have to be like, it's filmed well, and then they have like these little jokes in between to entertain, I guess, kids. You know, like scary German guy is bitching, and like they have all these little kind of like banter that when you're a kid you don't really get. But you're gonna like the movie anyway. There's a lot of movies we watch as kids that we think they're great, and we watch them back, and you're like, "Oh my god!" And this movie is the opposite. It still works as an adult. Like that scene when the guys in the B-2 bomber are flying.
I'm depressed. What for? What do you mean, what for? I'm flying a World War II bomber with wooden crates in it and dead bodies. I should have a party.
Do they complain? Do they get airsick? Do they ask for more of the little almond things?
You're right. This is a great job. I'm really happy.
Oh, you're right. Love this job.
But I love how you mentioned.
What?
But I love
it's
how you
almost very like it's almost very Will Ferrell-ish Anchorman style humor, but it's well written
and well shot. I didn't want to bring up too how you brought up that scene where the scary German guy invites the kids over and he has a dialogue exchange with them. Yeah. There's a part of it that I thought was actually well done. Where he's actually reading Van Helsing's old book, like his instruction book, and when he's reading it, you notice how the camera's panning into him, so it's building up this tension.
And the smoke is like they have like this fake smoke just pouring in.
Yeah, exactly. So when he's saying this, I mean, again, it's a repetitive, like 80s movie kind of like technique they used to build up tension, but
it's classic old school horror movie where
somebody
is telling them what they have to do, and he's basically telling them the plot of the movie.
Yeah, it worked. That's what I'm saying. It worked for the movie, and what sold it too was when Fat Kid said,
"Scary German guy's bitching."
That's how it sold it. So when I saw that, I was like, "Wow, this is really well done."
No, I know, and then that's what's good about this movie. That every time, even though it's well filmed, a lot of movies are well filmed. 1987. It's still well filmed, but every time when it gets to a point where you're like almost about to groan, there's a scene where they kind of like remind you like, oh, it's a movie, but not in a Naked Gun kind of way. Like that scene toward the end, not toward the end, but when the kids leave the Dracula's mansion, and then of course the other kids meet him at the same point, and how do they know where they're going to be? And he's like, oh, we got the amulet, and then you got the virgin, and she's like, oh yeah, put on the 6 o'clock news, you little shit. Yeah. And the old man's like, maybe we should come to my house for some pie.
Look, is she a virgin? Why don't you put it on the 6 o'clock news, you little shit? Yeah, she is.
Perhaps we should all go back to my place for some pie.
Yeah.
Like, there's no need for that, except for the director saying, yeah, I know this is convenient, but just roll with it.
Exactly. It's been a fun ride this whole time.
Yeah.
Just accept what's gonna happen.
Yeah, everything happened. It's perfect, and now we're gonna go to the third act. But we know it's a movie, so I'm gonna like just make you have fun. And that final act in the Back to the Future Square with the Burger King, blatantly, the Burger King is like 3-4 times in the movie.
Yeah.
Burger King was definitely a thing. Yeah.
We'll just have to do it right here.
Like, really religious, Sean. Why don't we just go over and do it in Burger King? You guys.
Cut to like the Burger King logo, and then the other kid kills that vampire witch.
The 3 girls.
Yeah. It's just it's very. I don't know. I think it's clever. I think it's clever, more clever than most movies nowadays.
And what makes it more clever is that it's coming from kids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because the banter is childish, but it's also adultish.
Yeah.
Only in a way that they can pull it off.
Yeah, you believe that a kid would say it, but it's not like poo poo caca. It's very like...
It just makes it more fun to hear a kid saying pretty much adult dialogue throughout the movie.
And I love that the fact that their parents are so like disassociated with the kids that the dad just comes back at the end of the movie like driving in with a gun, trying to shoot a bat, and just drives over like bushes and just goes into...
I mean, this is a kid's movie, and the one scene that I'm like, bro, that shit would not be put in a kid's movie nowadays. Dracula just lights a stick of dynamite and explodes the dad's partner in a car.
You move it, I'll kill you! Dispatch, we got a 1035. Sit back up. Hurry it up! Get out of here!
Boom! It kills him.
After blowing up the kid's treehouse, which he didn't know if they were in there or not.
Meeting adjourned.
Oh yeah, that was.
He said
that was so
meeting adjourned.
Lethal weapon.
Boom.
He just blows up the clubhouse, thinking hopefully they're probably in there.
He just throws the dynamite under the cop car, and I don't know why he couldn't get out.
He screams, "No!" Boom! And I was like, "Yo, he just killed."
That awesome actor from Runaway. He was Tom Selleck's partner in Runaway.
Yeah. He's been in a bunch of 80s
stuff. 80s stuff. Yeah, that's great. And then that point in the movie, it just all of a sudden becomes serious for no reason.
Oh yeah, there's just like a.
It's like Dracula goes, "I will have your son.
I will have your son."
What?
Why do you want the son? The amulet is what you want. What do you want the son?
We'll get into the amulet part, because the scene where he finds the amulet, he's like, "There's no one to stop us." It cuts to montage. Why didn't he get the amulet? He could just keep breaking the wall and go in there.
Yeah. Oh, because it was covered in crosses.
Okay.
But he had the werewolf with him. Why couldn't the werewolf be sent in there and grab it?
Well,
yeah.
We're getting
got kicked in the nards.
That was pre-nards kick.
Kick him in the nards! Kick him in the nards! He doesn't have nards! Do it! Wolfman's got nards! Come on!
Oh, that's right.
We're getting too far into it. But you're talking about things that are not allowed in the 80s. Just a shitload of that. Besides that part, I mean, talk about Dracula lifting up the little girl, which actually, when I was a kid, I thought that was the little girl from Roseanne. Even though it's not true, it's not her. I thought it was her. He lifts her up, which is a cool shot because he just
with one hand he
glides
lifts up by the head. He just like
he tells a 5-year-old girl,
"Give me the amulet, you bitch."
Well, I mean, I still don't understand why this guy fell off the face of the planet.
He seems like a nice guy. You've seen this
yeah, you watched the behind the scenes. He seems like a really cool guy. He looks like he was on top of his game. He knew his shit. He obviously did 2 good movies that we enjoyed, and I thought they were very well made. And like I said in the previous episode, he had a niche for himself. Why after this did he disappear and then only reappeared? And probably the only thing you can get was the atrociousness of Robocop 3 and then disappear again. What happened there?
I think that he just, I mean, neither Creeps and Monster Squad were not big studio movies.
Well, Monster Squad, I understand it didn't make money.
Movie, but I'm saying
I think it cost like $12 million and it only made like 4 or something. Like I know it did not make its money back whatsoever.
Yeah, but I think he's that breed where when the studio, I mean, RoboCop 3 is a franchise. I just don't think it just didn't work out. Like he's too much like I want to do what I want to do, which is not necessarily bad.
No, it's not bad.
I would agree with David.
I don't think he can do both. You know, there's directors that can make indie movies and make big budget movies. Peter Jackson, Ridley Scott, James Cameron to an effect, Steven Spielberg. They can jump from that. I don't think he can.
But don't forget too that RoboCop at that point too was a bit of a franchise film.
Exactly.
You know, so by the time Part 3 came around, I'm pretty sure he didn't have as much control as he had on those previous movies.
I guarantee you that RoboCop 3 was a big mess. We mentioned it before in another episode.
Production-wise, right?
That movie went into production 1991. It wasn't released until 1993. And they reshot a bunch of shit. That movie was a mess.
He actually said at one point, when I did... was it this movie or Creeps? He's like, I was full of myself.
He said during Creeps, because Creeps was being made. And he said, you're only as good as when your movie's being made. And he used the momentum from that movie to make Monster Squad. Mention it. Yeah. And Creeps came out and it bombed. But he said in between,
they thought he was
like on, shit. That's why Go Monster Squad was on there.
Mm-hmm.
That's that shit we would do when we were
of course.
Like, the next movie we're gonna put it in there. Yeah. But
which is cool.
Monster Squad has become a big cult following.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised it's not.
And bottom line, it's still well done. It's still a fun movie. It's short and sweet. Every scene, it's one of those rare movies where every scene is needed. Like there's never a scene where you're like, oh, they should have just cut that out.
Well, I mean, it's a short film anyway, so but they just cut out.
Every scene is always like, okay, it's just a progression. It's like a sharp movie, you know what I mean? Like some movies, you know, even good movies, you watch it and like.
No, to me, this is actually a very, very good movie. Matter of fact,
sharp.
In my opinion, of all the movies we reviewed for our Halloween special, this is the best one we reviewed.
Wow.
I like this one better than Frighteners and The Thing.
I'm proud of you.
Well. Overall,
I hated it. Shit.
How many cans do you give it?
How many are there again? It's 4 or 5?
It's 4.
It's 4? I'm giving it all 4.
Wow, impressive.
You go.
I am going to give it a 3.5.
Really? That's a tough one. But I mean,
this guy's sweating over here, bro.
I'm really confused at what you're confused about.
Yeah.
Seriously. You know what? Let me go ahead and add this in there too. We do review a lot of reviewed a lot of B movies, 80s stuff, and we always add this disclaimer whenever we we're recommending a film that is very B movie-ish, is very like dated kind of thing, so we have to watch out for this. I feel like I don't have to do that for this movie. You know, I just say watch it, you'll love it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and granted, it's not scary in that sense too, because I'm assuming that, you know, the assumption is that when Halloween comes around, people want to see a scary movie, so they want to see The Exorcist, they want to see The Thing, they want to see like something a little more scary. But this is fun just to watch, period, despite how old it is.
Oh yeah, it's adventure movie. It's fun.
I mean, I'm being dorky right now, but if I'm to judge it on, is the movie still work? Is it still effective? Do the effects still hold up?
The nostalgia value,
I would say
the direction of the film, the acting. How does it hold up? What do you give it? I mean, honestly, I
gave in the beginning I gave Frighteners 4.0, but I kind of jumped the gun, and then I backpedaled to 3.5.
I am only giving it a 3.5 and not a 4 because I'm reserving the 4 for some real deal shit. So for me, this is pretty much as high as it gets. So
I understand you just saw it, so you're absorbing in that stuff, and I'm tempted honestly to give it a 4, but I think I'll give it 3.75.
Get the fuck out of here!
See, that's what I'm not understanding too. Because here's my argument about it.
You just witnessed it. I'm actually, you know, I don't know. I might give it a 4.
There's gotta be. Hold on.
But what?
No,
what I'm saying is
say your opinion. I'm just trying to understand what it is.
What I'm saying is like, I can't judge this movie on the same level as Back to the Future or a movie like that. I can't. I like this movie a lot, but it's not that same level. I can't give it 4. To me, 4 is perfect.
That's why I see it.
But this is not at the movies with
okay,
Richard
if we're doing
Roper,
if we're doing Halloween,
Richard Roper is running the camera, bro.
If this is every Halloween movie we saw, I might give it a 4. I'm just saying I can't give it a 4. I can't compete it up there with
Back to the Future. This man is torn inside.
I'm surprised. You spent a week telling me I'm gonna be pleasantly surprised about this movie, and you were right.
Yeah. But I can't compare it to Back to the Future. I can't compare it to.
But no one's comparing it to Back to the Future, Dave. That's what I'm saying too. The reason
I give Monster Squad 4, and I give Back to the Future 4. That means that they're equivalent.
In that he has a point.
I'm giving it, but Back to the Future earns 4 gold cans. This is regular Halloween cans.
No.
We're talking about silver cans. Yeah, 4 silver cans. I'm saying,
but you can't compare them like that, though.
Okay, I'll say this:
they have to be
of our Halloween special. This might be my favorite of all of them.
No, that mine as well.
But that's how I'm saying it too.
Frighteners might be a better filmed movie. But this is more of a complete
embodiment of.
Yeah, we didn't bitch about the ending. Every scene is needed. Like if you cut a scene out,
there's no fat.
Yeah, exactly. It's lean, mean, Monster Squad machine.
Yeah, it's not bloated or anything like that. It's not the movie that feels stupid.
If we're going like that, yes, I would give it a perfect Halloween score. But I can't put it on the same level as Back to the Future, as Reservoir Dogs, as Die Hard. I can't.
But my argument about this too is that we haven't reviewed that. Whatever, we're not going to because
I think
Filmcan
rant.
Yeah,
Filmcan rant.
Can rant. We're not. No one's doing
I'm
that.
glad you liked it. I really am.
Yeah. For example, it's like
I'm actually like in awe. You're getting it 4 stars. That's awesome. I'm not saying anything.
But you have to understand too. It's like same way. Like if we're gonna go.
But the minute you say you have to understand, that means.
Because I want you to see my perspective on it, and I want you to see why I'm giving it 4, and I'm not clinging to that 3.75 or 3.99.
Okay, I don't care. I don't care if you give it 4. I'm just asking, is it? And if you say yes, I don't care. But is it up there with? Is it up there?
Say
with,
Back to the Future. Do it.
No. Batman. I know Batman is one of your favorite movies ever made.
No.
Exactly. Is Batman 4 or is that 5?
There is no 5.
No, if 4 is the scale, if there's 0, which is like...
now I have to redefine my cans.
Okay, if 0... if 0 is Gem and the Holograms, and then you got whatever... What was your top? 4 or 5?
Okay.
Give me a number. Just give me a number.
4. It was 4, right?
Okay, if 4 is Batman, Tim Burton's Batman.
4, Batman and Back to the Future are 4 for me.
Okay, if 4 is that, and then 0 is what? Gem and the Holograms or Wipe Your
Then
Ass?
it's 3.5.
Okay.
If we're going that far, but since we're only sticking to like Halloween movies.
Okay, we're in the bubble of Halloween film thumb. Okay, so now give it a 4. Halloween 4.
Yeah.
Nachi's still gonna be 3. Bullshit! Last time you said no. I don't do in between. You said that last time.
Last time I gave a 3.5. What are you
No,
talking
you didn't. You said I don't do. I said 3.5, and you said I do 3 or 4. I don't do in between.
Review the
Somebody
tape.
write on the comments about that. Yeah, please.
I'll play it right now. You said I don't do in between.
Hashtag refine my camp.
Exactly. No, but you know what? But allow me to explain why I think I put it so high up there.
This is as long as an episode of Walking Dead right now.
Exactly.
Hashtag.
Seriously,
have you seen the last episode?
Seriously.
No, I haven't seen the season whatsoever yet.
Okay, then I don't say anything.
But you know what?
They kill the main character.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't see Walking Dead. So
yeah, but honestly, it's pissing me off because they killed him, and now it's kind of like they didn't kill him, so it's turning to soap opera shit.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So allow me explain why I put it so hhigh. I really feel like anyone that's seen this movie before will look at it and still appreciate it for what it was or whatever they liked it for, and anyone that sees it now, right? You know, of course, with old movies, you always feel like, man, it's going to be something dated. They're going to have this old reference that I'm not going to understand. You'll get it. There's nothing about it that I feel like you don't like. You have to explain to someone beforehand for them to like it or to understand
I mean,
it.
some of the slang is like 80s outdated, but it's nothing you don't understand.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why, for me,
I envy this kind of like it's kind of like, I just realized sex feels good. You know, I get that feeling from you. You know what I mean? Okay. I kind of went overboard there, but
you totally did, because that's not how I feel about sex at all. About that, you know what I'm saying?
No, but it was like, you just experience it for the first time, and I get that.
Yeah, and it's not like,
but you gotta like sleep
on
it.
Again, all I've been reviewing lately now.
That was a little too far. Right. I'm sorry.
Now when he finishes with a girl, he's like, "I give you 3 cans," and he walks out.
He's like, "Until you drop this bitch." He's like, after. Are you a virgin?
No, but honestly, if anyone that's watching this, believe me when I say, anyone that's seen this before, you'll love it again. Anyone that hasn't seen it, you will eventually potentially love it. Simple.
It's fun. It's short. It's a nostalgic trip, and it's
it's
Halloween.
Not that shitty. It's not that shitty.
It's Halloween. This is the time.
Really
just go
good.
ahead and watch it.
Yeah, it's not scary, but who gives a fuck?
It's really good. It still works. I'm actually surprised you liked it so much.
So I guess overall, our can powers give it pretty much.
I think this might be our first 4 can review.
Yes, I agree.
Here we go.